That's what we're doing. That's what this is. It is a new decentralized internet. We would love to connect and work with every single other DePIN protocol out there.
Nice meeting you. Thank you so much for giving me opportunity to talk with you.
Thank you, Regina. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So to start, Jason, can you share a bit about your background and how you got involved in blockchain? What inspired you to pursue this space?
Sure. So my story of how I got involved in this space goes all the way back to 2010 when I first, started doing some of the disaster relief work in Haiti following the earthquake there.
Mhm.
So there's an earthquake in Haiti, a few 100,000 people died. It was an absolute disaster. I went there with a group of people I had done some work with before to try to work a little bit to, help. We were working in a hospital.
Yeah.
Very rough. But what I found there is that there was tons and tons and tons of money flowing into the country. Okay. But none of it was getting to the people who needed it the most on the street.
Which is
So exactly. So, they had this whole, the presidential palace collapsed. There's people dying of starvation, and there's new shiploads of marble coming into the port.
Yeah.
But again, people are dying of starvation while there's all these, beautiful rocks to build the next palace.
So
right?
it's a bit true.
Exactly. So really, really rough. And so a few years later, this issue had sat with me, right? And I kept thinking about it. And a few years later, when I started learning about blockchain, I got really interested in using blockchain to fix some of these problems. So I basically proposed the creation of an asset-backed stablecoin called the $8, which would be used essentially to make it so that when money comes into the pipeline at the top, none of it can drip out until it actually gets to the individuals at the street level that need it, right? I proposed this to the Global Development Network and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They ended up giving me an award for this concept. And I spent a couple years trying to make this thing happen, right? Unfortunately, what I found is that governments and NGOs are very not interested in new technology. They're kind of very traditional. They've done things the old way, and that's sort of the main way that they do things. So I wanted to find a way to continue to make a difference. So when Play and Earn Gaming came around, I switched my entire focus from sort of the NGO foreign aid to Play and Earn Gaming, right?
Yeah.
I was one of the original philosophical founders of Gala, and then eventually became employee number 8, CMO and president of blockchain.
Yeah.
So it was, I spent 4 years there before I left to go do other things, some differences of opinion and things like that. And then I've been working since then, founding a couple different companies that are sort of related to one another and to blockchain, and, pursuing the same philosophical grounding that I have since day one.
Yeah. Wow, I'm really amazed how you started with crypto, because you provide solution
Yes.
to the people who needs most.
Correct. And that's what it should be. It should be a technology that fixes problems, not something that creates them.
Yeah. Wow. So, currently you are the CEO of the Datagram.
Correct.
Yeah. So can you please tell us or give a brief background of Datagram?
Sure. So Datagram was essentially created. I'll give you a little bit of history. When I left Gala, originally I created a company called LFG.
LFG.
Now, LFG was designed to help companies that wanted to deploy DePIN infrastructures sell nodes, because Gala was the one that put nodes on the map. And so what we wanted to do is, because when I left Gala, about 13 people came with me. Okay, so most of sort of like the heavy duty Web3, like deep Web3 people who had come with me to Gala left when I left.
Yeah.
And so our focus was on finding ways to essentially help projects sell nodes for their DePIN networks. And so that's what we did. However, what we found is that most projects, once they had sold the nodes, didn't really know how to stand up the DePIN.
Okay.
Okay, because they were focused on, pick a topic, music, for example, right? And music is their focus, but DePIN is the technological thing that they need to do,
Yes.
right? But it's always easier to do the thing you're passionate about than the thing that is like
It's more,
the foundation
Yeah.
level stuff, right? Which is why in the DePIN space right now, a lot of the projects are very vaporware because they don't have the technological underpinnings.
Mhm.
They just believe that decentralization is good and they're going to figure out how to get there someday. Right? So when I saw this, I was like, okay, wait a minute. We're putting the cart before the horse. What we need to do is help people make DePIN, help DePIN become a real thing so that it's easy for companies to build on top of
Yes.
it. And so this is where Datagram comes from. I reached out to Dr. William Nguyen, who's this brilliant technologist. He's my co-founder and the CTO of Datagram. He's been working in distributed and parallel computing for literally 30 years.
Okay.
Okay, so he was doing DePIN before DePIN, like way before DePIN was even conceived to be a thing.
Yeah.
He did his original work at Lawrence Livermore Labs in California on distributed and parallel compute for computational biology.
Yeah.
And then from there went on to do more work at Harvard Med, and then as a Sloan Fellow at Harvard Med
Mhm.
for distributed and parallel computing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is like what DePIN is supposed to be. He was doing 30 years ago. Okay. So we have a little bit of secret sauce there in his experience.
Mhm.
What we did then is we built out an ecosystem that leverages the power of basically idle compute time on devices. You can install a Datagram node on many, many, many different types of devices.
Okay.
Okay. And that Datagram node will contribute to the network. It'll take its excess compute, its excess CPU, GPU, bandwidth, and storage and contribute those to the network.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then, you know, what we've also done is we've built something called the Datagram Core Substrate, which any DePIN project can build into their own node, which will make it so that Datagram handles on-chain all of their uptime and all of their usage reporting. Okay, so your DePIN structure, which goes from being sort of this, most projects just have, you know, their nodes report to MongoDB, for example.
Yeah.
Your DePIN structure then now is actually fully on chain
Mhm.
so that anyone can check it and audit it, and it becomes much better for the community.
And much easier as well.
Much way easier for the product,
Yeah.
for the project,
Yeah.
but then also better for the community as well,
Yeah.
because now they can trust the actual uptime since it's all being written on chain.
Yeah. I think this is amazing because and you're as well an amazing guy because from the start you're providing resolutions for different issues from the
Thank you.
community.
I'm not nearly as cool as she says I am, I promise.
Yeah, but you know, it's really amazing to talk with you that you give solution.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do my best.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other people that are part of this. It's not just me.
Yeah, and your team is good.
The team are amazing.
Yes. Okay, so to move forward, Jason, what specific? So since you provided those little problems or conflicts, so now what are these specific problems that Datagram solve and that exist in decentralized infrastructure networks?
Sure. So there's a couple problems that Datagram solves.
Mhm.
Okay. And these are all problems that exist in the DePIN industry as a
Okay.
whole right now.
Mhm.
The first is that most DePIN projects start from the supply side. Okay. So they'll build out a network with a bunch of GPUs or a bunch of computers, but they don't actually have any users or customers. So what this means is they're deploying all this capacity and they're using all this electricity for nothing. Okay. And the only people that are using their damn DePIN network is the actual node operators themselves, which are using it to extract money to, you know, print tokens essentially, right?
Yeah.
But they don't have any customers, most of them.
So you guys provide the solution again.
We provide the solution and we bring the customers. We have 1.2 million users right now, and 200 companies that are building on Datagram. And so we are able to take these DePIN networks that aren't really doing much, help them integrate the Datagram core substrate. So their now users have their miners essentially have users that are using their network now. and allowing an additional revenue stream for the miners, while also making the entire network more robust. Because it's kind of one of those things where if you have one network, okay, there's a limited amount of efficiency. Once you start layering these things on each other, so everything talks to everything else, you end up with a situation where you can more easily, efficiently route
It's really,
through the whole
it's
ecosystem.
really like the BTC, the blockchain, how it works.
Yes.
Yeah, but I was thinking, since you guys are getting information from site, how you guys add layer of security? So hackers, bad
Sure.
guys.
So one of the security is a really important thing, and my co-founder actually ran a security firm that has brought the technology for all of this. But the other component here is there's an element of when you are. It is difficult to attack a target that you cannot identify.
Yeah.
Okay. So every time anything connects across Datagram, it's essentially a one-time use VPN tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay. So this node talks to this node.
Yes.
Okay. And then next time this node talks to this node.
To other.
And so it's always different. So it's very difficult for somebody to try to man in the middle it, essentially.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I did not invent that. That was not me. It's just yes, though. It is very good what they've done.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so for next, Jason, how does the full core model ensure reliability and incentivize long-term participation in the
So the token that we have, the Dgram token, which should be TGing later this year, the way that the model functionally works, is it encourages people to stand up deep in nexuses, in areas where there is the most traffic. Okay. So you want ideally, the most perfect node ecosystem is a node ecosystem in which you have nodes that are all spaced out, and none that are operating in server farms or anything like that. Like one of the other big problems that DPINs have is a lot of their capacity is simply just deployed into AWS. Okay, because people will buy, $8 AWS instances to run whatever's heartbeat machine it is, right?
Yeah.
And so you have thousands and thousands of users that are running these heartbeat machines inside of AWS.
Yeah.
And so you can't credibly say our desire is to replace centralized infrastructure if your quote unquote decentralized infrastructure is all running inside AWS. It doesn't make sense. Right?
Yes.
So that's one of the big problems. And so what we do is we incentivize people by being like, you actually get credit for the actual work that your node provides.
Yeah.
Okay, because nodes are actually doing things in this ecosystem. They're not just sitting idle. So anytime somebody uses our real-time communication, anytime somebody uses our AI inference, anytime anyone uses storage, compute, anything like that, the specific node that is providing that receives credit for it.
So it's like an airdrop?
It's not an airdrop. It's think of it more as mining.
Okay.
So you actually have to do work in order to get tokens. There is no like magic token printer, right?
Okay.
You do receive a portion of things for uptime, but that's because you need to make sure the network has capacity.
Yeah.
But you actually, if you're not performing work, you're not getting any tokens.
Okay.
So it's more closely aligned to mining than it is to like an airdrop.
Yeah, it's really amazing. A while ago, you're mentioning that you provide solutions to different companies.
Yeah.
So, what kind of real world data or services does Datagram support, and how are those integrated into the?
Yeah. So there's a couple things. One of the things that kind of helped us start is we started by essentially taking the back end of a commercially successful Web 2 company and decentralizing it. Okay. So we brought a large number of customers with us when we did that. Now they're using things like real-time communication within their company because they don't want Google or Facebook or anyone snooping on their communications, right?
Yes, correct.
They're using Datagram as a secure means of communication inside their company. There's also some organizations that are using Datagram for streaming services. So they have an event and they'll stream. There's also some organizations that are using Datagram for highly secure, very privileged conversations, things like that. So there's a lot of different people that are using Datagram right now, and as we kind of come out of stealth to a certain extent,
Yeah.
that you're gonna see a lot more of that.
Yeah, thank you so much for providing that information, Jason. I'm just curious, since AI is booming, are you also integrated it in your data?
Yes, of course. So we have what's called the intelligent coordination layer, which is a distributed AI. You could think of it almost as a load balancer.
Okay.
So connections come in,
Okay.
those connections are analyzed and then connected with the resource that will best be able to serve.
So faster.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's that. We use that for routing. We also have AI inference built into your node. So if you download a node, unless you turn this option off, it will analyze the resources available, your CPU, your GPU, your RAM, etc., and say, you know what, this is a good model. And then it'll download whatever the best model is for your PC.
Okay.
And then run that model. So if people are then using it, and it says, okay, well, we need a Llama 17B model, it'll connect to that and then do the inference through your.
So technically, it will give a faster output.
It can give faster output. Now, I want to be very clear in terms of AI specifically. This is one of those situations where I always get myself in trouble because I am super honest about things. There will never be decentralized AI that is faster than a bunch of H200s in the same rack together. It will never happen. Okay. But in terms of decentralized AI and in terms of consumer usage, yes, it's very fast, it's very robust, and critically, it's done at the edge rather than through a central compute model.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
So it may be locally faster and connecting back to, a data center.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I think we need to wrap up. Last question here about the Datagram.
Yeah.
What's the long-term vision of Datagram and how does it plan to remain competitive as more decentralized compute and storage network emerge, or the competitors?
I don't think that there are any competitors. Like, to be honest, I think that there are deep in projects that we can help make better. There are deep in projects that we can work together with. For me, I fundamentally believe at my core that community is what makes this entire thing work. Okay. And so our long-term plan is to build a new internet. That's what we're doing. That's what this is. It is a new decentralized internet. And we would love to connect and work with every single other deep in protocol out there. And help them become the best deep in protocol they can be.
I already also talked with some CEO in the web trading. If you know Luke Barbikoski from Excels, he also have the same vision as yours that we need to work together.
Yes.
To provide a better solution.
That's what this is. What we are is crypto in general, blockchain, the blockchain industry is a bunch of little tiny globs of this decentralized membrane, if you will.
Yeah.
That the way that we're going to superpower this is if we maintain our decentralization in terms of governance, but come together in terms of community. Yeah. Because then it's not me and my people using my little service. Okay. It's everybody using everybody's stuff. And that's how we build a new internet and replace legacy systems.
The traditional one. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I think those are my questions for the Datagram. A while ago, you mentioned that you're former president from the Gala Games.
Yes, that's correct.
I have this side question here. So for Gala Games, what are some of the most successful games or projects launched under Gala Games for the ecosystem?
So I'm a little tiny bit. This is gonna be a little bit spicy. I hope you don't mind.
Crazy.
I'm sorry. So some of the projects at Gala, while I was still there, I left a year ago, by the way. So things have changed, and I don't know everything that they've got going on right now. But there were a couple titles that I thought were really, really good. They have both been canceled, as far as I know. Last Expedition was an absolutely amazing first-person shooter. Very, very good game. Very high quality bar. I don't know what happened, but as far as I know, it's no longer moving forward.
Is that the battle royale?
It wasn't a battle royale. It was four teams of four,
Okay.
PvPvE.
Multiplayer.
So yeah, multiplayer where you and it actually ran on nodes, which was super cool. Their own nodes. It could have been the main ones, but whatever. They did it their own way. And then you would basically have 16 players that would all drop into a server, and you'd have to fight against the other teams as well as the environment, which was constantly trying to kill you. And they had some amazing mechanisms like you could have NFTs that you could use if you were a node operator that you could install into your node
Yeah.
that would increase the difficulty, like bigger, badder monsters that would spawn if you had certain NFTs. It was very cool. And then the Walking Dead Empires, which was good. They unfortunately canceled that one not too long ago.
Oh, that's why last year I was trying to play that one, but so much bugs. And then when I
It was a little buggy.
the review, the people or the community is asking why there are no further updates with the bugs.
And then they ended up, I guess and I don't again, I'm not part of this.
Okay.
But they made an announcement that said that they were not continuing, I think, with the licensing. So they ended up sunsetting the game and made some sort of commitment to the community that those NFTs would become other NFTs. I don't know. It's not a thing I'm involved with, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel you, and I feel my shoes because I am a player too. With those games.
It's interesting. I mean, Gala was for me. You know, I have a tremendous love for the community and for the ecosystem as a whole because I spent 4 years of my life there, and every once in a while, like I will say something, and that looks critical to people. Like, for example, there's this current node thing where they're introducing a staking requirement to the nodes. I disagree with this, like, very much. And so, I'll talk about it and people get a little bit frustrated because they're like, well, you left and now you're just saying things. It's like, no, I'm saying things because I'm trying to protect the company and protect the community. And I think that this isn't the right way to go. And so, that's the way it is.
Yeah. While I'm searching you through internet, it's really out of the blue. Me myself also questioning why Jason just took down from the Gala games.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's what it is. I mean, for me, it's about community.
Yeah.
And
so you choose the community.
I will choose the community over a company any day.
Yeah. Because you have the great heart and a good guy, that's why you're always choosing the mass, the good for everyone.
She's very nice. She's very nice. I mean, I think that there's a right way to do stuff, and that's it. My father, I'll add this, and then I will close. My father passed away a few years ago of early onset Alzheimer's, and he lost the ability to talk at the end. But literally, I kid you not, the last conversation I had with my father was me sitting outside with him and asking him, because we knew where this was going. He knew he was going to die. I knew he was going to die. Just a really rough thing.
The moments.
Exactly. And I asked him, I said, Dad, what are some words of advice that you have for me that, like, what do you want to teach me? What do I need to get?
Yeah, wisdom.
And he says, well, if you're going to do something and doing that thing makes you an asshole, don't do that thing and do something else instead. And for me, the community is the absolute core. We have to take care of the community always. And if we have no community, we have nothing.
First I want to say condolences, Jason. It's hard to our loved ones. Because my father also did 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. But I think he's a nice guy like you.
He was interesting. He was interesting. And just for those watching, for context, the memory card ran out right at the end of that story, which is why there's kind of that weird, funny re-pickup here where we're continuing the conversation after 3 minutes of memory card and battery swaps. No, I appreciate that. He was a good guy, and he taught me a lot of things that I hold very close to my heart. So it's the the don't be an asshole, which I feel is a pretty important, lesson for everybody.
Very straightforward.
Very straightforward. Hey, is this a bad thing for you to do? Ooh, well, if it is, don't do that thing. And then also he had this, he had a Bible verse that he had painted on the side of his car. He had a work van, and it was, I want to say Ecclesiastes 11:15 or something like that. I that's probably wrong. But it was, let all things be done decently and in order. And so, there's a right way to do stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do it, you need to do it that right way, or don't do it. And, those are the things I really took away from that.
Thank you so much. I think Jason, everything that you will go through, like if you will go to different companies, create new services or products, you will fly high. Your product will always boom out because you always provide solution and you will always giving first priority to the community, right? Which is the bread and butter.
It is everything.
Yeah.
That's what Bitcoin's based on. That's what Bitcoin.com is based on. That's what this entire industry and community, and honestly, the Philippines is based on. It's all about community, and it's one of the things that I love about this industry, and it's one of the reasons I'll never leave.
Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you so much, Regina.